We have to have them. Will you sit over here so the shoe can be directly in front of you?
All right, like this.
Perfect.
This is great. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My computer that I will show the video again. Someone is
Pardon me? This way over here, so it's out of harm's way. And this. Okay. So you should tell us where you are with the shoes, because this is a prototype made with a different elastomer, or just not with an elastomer at all, is it?
This is the prototype, but the original one is in the exhibition in Twente. Okay, so it's a mock-up. It's look the same, but the original is a little more strong. And I can show you in the video.
Yeah.
They actually can walk with them, and they can go around, and it's really works. So
these were in order to prototype the form, but not the material.
it's the same material.
It's the same material?
It's a nylon 12.
Really? So then I was expecting that to be more pliant, but it's not. So,
No,
but it's actually, that's always a surprising thing about how stiff.
Yeah, I can show. I can walk with this, and you can also walk with this. What is the size?
Okay. Yeah, what size are you? I'm about a 6.5.
Ah, so this would be perfect for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me. I mean, first of all, we'll talk a little bit more about the design and how. I think I like this twist.
I can explain you why I did it. And actually, when you walk,
Yeah.
in the first my experience, my inspiration was hyperactive people.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
Yeah, and a lot of people move their foot like this when they talk, and yeah, not only them, but a lot of people. This movement in the foot, and I thought I did it well. So I do it actually, and I said to myself, "Fuck! I want to do with this movement something. I want to design this movement,
Right.
and this is what my inspiration." And then I start to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when I thought you said hyperactive, because the work that I did, and I'll bring up some of the high performance high heel shoes that I did. She's on the blog site, I think. Maybe it's too late to get. Was actually looking at athletes, and so you'll see from my high performance high heel shoes they look similar to the prosthetics that are athletes use. So the carbon fiber and ply, I would triple apply, and I've done them in a metallic alloy and with carbon fiber, because the carbon fiber actually turned out to be, depends on how you fabricate it, but it turns out to be too brittle and too rigid. It doesn't have enough pliancy, and I'll probably end up going back to just ply, but I'll also show you things. I have to start this up. Version that Amanda's designed with the whole team of aerospace engineers, which are all about the shock absorption, which of course is what you're doing here. But the whole, there's a bigger story about treating. Actually, the interesting story of when I first designed a pair of high performance high heel shoes, maybe a decade ago, actually, when I was at Yale, so 15 years ago. But this idea that in the last 50 years, the biggest technical transformation, the biggest social transformation that most people think of is computers and cell phones. And in fact, they pale in significance to the big transition, which has been the big social transition internationally has been women entering the workforce. And so in the US now, there's more employed women. So that has meant the industrialization of food production. It has meant all of the domestic labor that was otherwise not in the market has become. And that has meant that women have had to perform in male-dominated professional contexts and do the lion's share of the childcare and elder care and domestic work still. So the whole idea was to treat them as high-performance athletes because they're now performing in this extraordinary way. And I had this, I was a young feminist, and my my daughter Jennifer, who's in her 20s now, she noticed that we didn't have any what she called up shoes. All right, no heels, because it's, that was. I'd always understood that high heels were about crippling women, right? They were making the dramatic element in the movie is so they're running from the monster and they trip, and then the heroic man comes and saves them, right? That high heels were about the objectification of women and their kind of physical crippling. Yeah, for sure. And my daughter actually went out to a secondhand store and bought me a pair of up shoes that she liked. She was like, I don't know, 8 or something at the time, and decided it was terrible that I didn't have any of these up shoes. And I wore them for her the first time. And I realized that everything I thought as a good, second wave feminist was wrong. It was actually about, they made you 3 inches taller. And that was really powerful. And when you have a look at women in executive positions of power, part of the uniform is to wear heels. Yeah, for sure. And to not wear heels is to, it really is the language of power. And so this idea that they were just for, objectification, to be 4 inches taller is a sense of self and power that's great. And women aren't stupid. They wear high heels because they work. They work as some sort of language of power and capacity. So that was why I started working on these, which is the same language as what you've done here, right? It's about performance. It's about making, keeping elevation, but making it much more usable, right? Duration. Unique. So this idea about the hyperactivity that you were talking about is more that kind of excess energy. It's more that you're talking about, this idea of having some sort of revving motor that you're constantly moving.
This is what my inspiration.
Right.
I don't think it's like in this moment, I don't think it's like a therapy for people or something like this.
Right.
But I really want to do something that include the movement inside and the
enabled.
Yeah, and if you walk, you actually feel a different new experience. You feel something new.
Right.
Because
because
it's spring here.
Yeah.
You walk with this and
this, but this the spring, I understand. What I was getting with the performance of my shoes is let me just finish this off. In about a 40 to 60% increase in stride length from people who were wearing the shoes, because that's one of the things that happens with high heels. Is that your Achilles?
It's not healthy. It's like terrible for the
not sure that it's not healthy. I mean, that's the whole thing, is that being really demonized. But in fact, or basically women adjust by just shortening their step.
Yeah.
And they make quicker, shorter steps. Yeah, there's a lot of energy stored in the Achilles, but now you put it into this. So it can, I mean,
But when you walk on something like this,
yeah,
it's actually like really like shock observed that the power that you do when you walk.
Exactly.
It's
it actually extends your stride length. That's why I was getting a 60% extension of stride. So the actual stride length became 60% longer, and sometimes 100% longer. And the energy return, I was getting 80 to 90% energy return.
Wow.
So, because I had a very stiff, and in fact you do get, which is something I didn't understand, the stiffness of the traditional metallic insert that's in every single shoe does have an energy return in it. It's too subtle for us to notice because it's too stiff. But yeah, I because of the energy return and the extension of stride length, I would argue creates, they're the performance metrics of interest, because they make the stride more efficient, and they obviously make you a faster walker. So the kind of general, I'm really interested in this technology as doing to pedestrians what hot-rod cars do to cars, right? They really make them, the fancy BMWs and this whole language of technology. Instead of pedestrians being thought of as, kind of the plebeian kind of, this is the idea that, there's a whole technology, because our cities should be oriented around pedestrians. And if we treat pedestrians as the kind of high tech, if we put the kind of fetish of high tech into pedestrian technology, we are going to improve our cities tremendously, particularly if we focus on women who are doing most of the shopping and childcare and, are actually the trendsetters, are the people who take on bikes. In Europeans, they will ride bikes more. The men, they're the kind of early adapters, they're early adopters. And so I think there's a kind of a large urban planning strategy embodied in this project, right? That is about an agenda project, right? That is specifically about making. And this is actually something that Amanda's project is involved with. So the idea that fashion is low tech, the feminization of the fashion world versus actually the biggest industry in the world. It's the most economically productive industry in the entire world, the apparel industry. So it makes all the car manufacturers look like puny, right? If we're talking about global trade, all right, apparel is, the most important.
And influence other industries.
Yeah, exactly. What do you say?
I'm saying it influences other industries, because in order to manufacture apparel, you need water, you need electricity, you need specific areas, you need specific employees, specific specialists.
Well, you have in entire countries like Bangladesh,
which are basically
their main industry.
One big sewing machine.
Yes, apparel. Yeah. They're three main industries.
So it changes the world. It's a huge industry, and what Natalie just said about having the impact of us as individuals, as pedestrians, compared to any other thing in the city. In the cities, it already started with actual personal wear, because now, until let's say 20 years ago, the most important toy you had was your car. Now the most important toy you have is a cell phone.
It's
Which basically you build a car around the cell phone.
Right.
When one of the specifications for a car is whether it's available to interact with your iOS if you're on iPhone, or with your Samsung machinery if you're on Samsung. And you see Android cars now, and you see Apple for cars. Many manufacturers are already using both because they don't know what the customer is getting. So basically, you enter your phone, which is like your personality, and it knows everything from that phone to what you want as a driver. Why not do that the same thing as somebody who uses the train or just walks? And by emphasizing the actual person with the apparel industry, I think the technology can go, I don't know, everywhere, because that's just the beginning. Like she said, if you increase the stride length to, let's say, even 40%, we're speaking about 1 meter. It's a lot.
Yeah, you haven't done those measurements on yours, have you?
No.
No, we should actually do some testing.
It's a very interesting test.
Yeah, actually, no, but I would love to do it.
Because I remember I'm reading something about the shape of the scarf of the lady in the fashion industry, which basically changed from that in the 50s to that in the 60s to that in the 70s. So, and it changed the stride length. There was an interview with Lagerfeld, I think, or something, years ago about that it changed the way people move. So with the shoes, obviously, the sky's the limit. You can fly. So when you're saying you increase by 100%, you basically go to what, 1 meter, 1 meter 25?
Well, that's the energy return. If you measure the amount of energy that you put into the ground, 40 to 60% was the stride length.
Oh.
So another 40%, another half of what the stride length, or not more than half, around. So, but then of course it changes what you can do with the stride. So you can run, right?
You can walk, you can achieve more distance in a shorter time, even without running. If you're stride,
right, so you can actually change your...
I'm sorry, just maybe you can explain אחוזים של הליכה.
כן, גודל הצעד וגודל האימפקט של הצעד.
כן.
יש הרבה מאוד אנרגיה שנצברת בתוך הנעל בתנועה. מה שאת עושה, למעשה משתמשת באנרגיות כדי להתקדם קדימה. אז הצעד שלך קל יותר וגם ארוך יותר. אז גם את חוסכת למעשה אנרגיה. וגם תחשבי שמה שהיה לוקח לך, למשל את צריכה להגיע לתחנת הרכבת הקרובה, יש הרבה מאוד תחנות רכבת בערים אירופאיות, את צריכה להגיע לתחנת הרכבת הקרובה, ויש לך למשל 5,000 צעדים לעשות את זה. בכזאת עם היי פרפורמנס, אתה עושה את זה ב4,000 צעדים, אתה עושה את זה ב3,600 צעדים, הרבה פחות זמן.
זה מה ש...
הרבה פחות אנרגיה והרבה פחות עייפות, שזה כל הסיפור. היתרון הוא לא רק יתרון להיות ספורטיבי, יאללה בואי נקפוץ לשמיים, הכל בסדר. זה מאוד מעניין. כל החשיבה, היא לכאורה מאיפה היא מגיעה, היא מגיעה מקומות מאוד מאוד מעניינים. החשיבה שלה מאוד מאוד מקורית, בגלל זה היא כזאת נחשבת. כל מה שדי נחמדה.
Sorry,
That's all right.
I just
we're just gossiping about you and we're saying bad things.
Yeah, that I wanted that I understand the
She wanted to understand specifically that.
meters for.
So אני חושב שבאיזשהו שלב, דברים כמו שאת עושה, הם העתיד, בהרבה דברים, והיא מתעסקת בזה המון. ובגלל זה כל כך היא מאוד אימפולסיבית, כמו שאת רואה. והיא מאוד מתעניינת, זאת אומרת שישר קפצה על זה, כשאנשים מדברת איתך על מעצבת ישראלית, בת 20 ומשהו אני מניח, זה לא סתם, כאילו, זה נחמד. כן, יש רעיונות מאוד טובים, תכף תשמעים. אם את לא מבינה משהו מהאנגלית שלה, תשאלי, זה בסדר. אז האנגלית שלה קצת מנגנת.
אני מבינה, אבל אני רק רציתי להיות בטוחה.
So, you didn't work with engineers for this, did you? Or did you?
Not really. I asked some people, but not together. When I have some question, I just ask people that I know. But it's my intuition
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So you started with an understanding of the material, and then built a form that would work with this material first, rather than trying to characterize the. I mean, this is actually one of my big theses. Is that the way we educate designers, or particularly in technical fields, is that you pretend that by giving them all the science, they will then do the science. They do the design. Whereas what I've documented over and over and over again is the really interesting material uses, the really experimental work that's going on, really testing and applying materials in new ways, is not actually coming from the engineering sciences. It's coming from designers working intuitively, figuring out, does this work? Will this work? How well does this work? Do I have to move this around? Do I have to reinforce this? Do I have to make more curvature or less curvature? Yeah, that's the kind of experiment you did, an empirical.
Yeah. So actually, I find these materials in some factory that I saw, and I looking that it's very strong materials, but also the material can move. They have the options that to move, and it's a cold material. So if there's a warm weather, it's not warm the legs. It's very important, when you walk.
What do you mean? It's sort of a heat sink?
No, it's a cold materials. It's not warmer. It's like
so it doesn't absorb or hold heat. Is what you're
it's
saying.
not. I said that it's not changed. The material don't change.
Because of extreme weather.
The behavior of the material or the feel of the material?
You don't feel warm.
Yeah.
The material is not changed, not move. Like leather is when you put some leather shoes.
Yeah.
Be more.
So it's the thermal stability is what you're talking about. I see.
Yeah.
So it's thermally stable. That's actually really interesting. So because I would have thought as a thermoplastic that it would get softer in hotter weather.
No.
Interesting.
Really interesting. This is actually how 3D printing works, because the materials for 3D print it's warm, and then
it's heated up.
Yeah, and it's like warm of that, like more than 100 degrees. So when you walk out, it's not like 100 degrees.
I see. Yeah, so it's outside of the range of.
Yeah.
So which this is a nylon printer. You should actually pull up. Now I'm having some more difficulties. Can you pull up the machine that you used? Yeah, an SLS with a nylon printer. So, and what did you use for the? Yeah. Because, okay, so let me just tell you what I'd like to discuss with you. I run an old feral trade that was started by a good friend of mine. Like this again, I had to restart, and now.
Do you want another laptop?
Yeah, can you bring another laptop, because otherwise this is not going to restore all the reasons I don't understand it didn't restore. Anyway. Feral trade is a trading. I'll actually show you. It's about the. This is one of the things that I ferally trade. So it's open source cola, open source Coca-Cola.
All right.
And people order it in London, or New York. And when people make it, Kate Rich and Kale Brandon, is wonderful.
What they can do it?
Sorry?
What?
It's a cola.
Yeah.
The But what I'm talking to you is about the trade network. So, okay, let me backwards a little bit. Because I run this thing called the Environmental Health Clinic in my and really I'm looking at how to design systems that improve human and environmental health. The most toxic of everything that we do as humans is the production and distribution of goods. And so the big promise, Leo, it's all right, don't worry. I want you just to be here for this part. Don't worry about it.
This is like half the world, so.
So yeah, you've probably heard all the hype around 3D printing.
Yeah.
About it being the new manufacturing, and in fact, Obama made a
statement. Yeah.
June 15th declared it. I think Make a Day, and Make Magazine and people who produce MakerBot make all of these really BS claims about this is the new manufacturing. To do little plastic bits. I don't buy it. It's there's very few interesting things that have been made with 3D printing. You're one of the very.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And food. That's the big thing.
What in terms of
food? There's a pancake 3D maker that was just released in America.
Yeah, it's completely stupid. It's
I know.
completely
I'm not
stupid.
saying, but it shows you how people work.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in how do we make this technology work for human and environmental health benefits, and it's certainly not coming from the Maker Faire, Make Magazine, MakerBot people. They are extraordinarily deceitful in the kind of promises that they're making about this being the new manufacturing, and it drives me really crazy. Nonetheless, developing the alternative of what actually works to radically change how we produce and distribute goods is really what I'm more interested in criticizing them. Although I'd like to drive me so crazy, but so thing is the distribution of goods, right? So one of the strategies that I'm just launching this new feral trade network. For me, the feral trade has been run for 11 years by my good friend Kate, where you import and export any sorts of goods, and we're just about to develop. This is the cola, so they make it there. Whenever I'm coming from, essentially, the essential thing about feral trade, as opposed to using FedEx or DHL, is that when you're going to the US to visit your brothers, you might take some goods, right? Or it uses existing trips, to take goods, and then through social networks, people buy things, right? So I will deliver coffee to the curator at the Tate because he bought coffee from Kate, which actually comes from Mexico, and I deliver it for free because I want to meet the curator at the Tate anyway. And everyone's a friend of a friend, and this is a delightful way to just meet people.
Yeah.
So trading through goods through that way is one important way to radically increase the efficiencies and re-socialize what trading is about. Trading is about the exchange not only of the good, but of the information and the ideas and the cultural exchange that happens. Yeah. So that's one thing. Now, the interesting thing about these is we don't have to physically trade them, right?
Yeah.
You can give me the,
For sure.
the
File.
3D print, the
Yeah.
file, and I can then manufacture them.
Yeah.
But, or I can print them out. And so that's what I'd like to explore doing with you, is to do a New York branch where people can order your shoes from me. And, you know, we can discuss them and talk about them, and then order them. The people who will order them will understand that you're, you know, emerging young designer. This is an experiment. And they're not trying to buy them as a dumb product, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a good personality behind it.
Yeah, it's really, you know, look at what, here's the prototype she's done, and let's print them out in your size, and let's get the feedback, and basically have these alpha users who are interested in pushing this fashion technology and giving feedback. And so we will continue to get the feedback so that these can continue to develop, right, in a way that,
All right.
so that's the idea, that developing this network of fairly traded and 3D printed goods that I would argue can really change how we produce goods and distribute goods, and how we can measurably improve human and environmental health. So for the bigger story about this is pedestrian technology that we're changing cities with, that we are,
And we're in the mail shoe very soon.
yeah, we do. I mean, the thing that's interesting about having it as a, you know, there's a whole gender politics about driving it, because the Nike shoe kind of fetish is whatever, that's its own thing that we can attack next. But for now, I think these are so visually interesting.
And impressive.
Yeah, that they become what I call a context of convivial learning, right? Anyone who's going to wear one,
All right.
is going to become
Like try it, and if I understand you well, you want that some people in the world will print them, and
No, she would print them.
I'll probably print them in New York. Yeah.
All right.
Or yeah, they'll be your shoe, right?
yeah, and you will
but I will
search about it,
sorry,
and you will.
they will be. They're not kind of users who have an exchange and then go away and I never know who they are. They become participatory research, or part of the environmental health clinic, where their experience and, you know, they're giving feedback about what it's like to wear them
and promote them to the world.
Yeah, and they're going to be intelligent participatory researchers, right? That are, oh yeah, designed by this young designer in Israel, printed out here in New York. I've been wearing them for 3 months. They're super comfortable.
You want to wear them?
I want to wear them. Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes, because that's the first way it
The
works.
first way of working is that she needs a pair.
All right.
Yes.
That's the
All right.
most important thing. Let's start with that.
But then, but really, it's also to demonstrate that I can distribute them in this new way, right? That it's that that I'm printing them out for you, and that there's more feedback happening. So it's really to demonstrate this new version of personal retail and industry research, that it's not about creating brand loyalty, it's not about kind of the stupidity of marketing, where you're kind of trying to delude people and sell them an image that is not them. It's actually trying to enlist people, intelligent, inquisitive, people who are really interested in this project, who really care about it. So so first of all, I like to get a pair and print out in manufacture New York. So I'm going to show you, I don't know if I can do a search.
There's two things that I thought about it.
Yeah.
If you want to print them in New York, you need some 2 different printer.
Okay.
And the materials come in a white color. So the color. I made the color, and so actually it's.
Can you change language on this again? Because it matters.
Just Google. Oh my God, they keep moving that thing. You go down. No, you go here, language.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it was downstairs until last week or something else.
What does that say? Does that say confirm?
Yeah.
Should learn how to read Hebrew.
I know. I'm
You
learning.
keep
I'm
stuck in
learning.
front of the screen each time, so.
So these guys are friends of mine. Carbon 3D. Do you know them?
Not yet.
They're the kind of coolest 3D printing technology in the world. The TED Talk has had 2 million views. So this guy's a chemical engineer who's also a friend of mine, but the head engineers are friends of mine. And they can print whatever we like. So one idea is to print with this, because they would give me a machine if I can give them tell them the right story. So we might tell this. The other place that we would print them, I mean, I can print them in my school. Sorry?
No.
No.
It's not everywhere because it's not it's an SLS printer, so it's
Right.
more for manufacturing.
Exactly.
It's not like store, a regular store for 3D print, but it's different. It's two different machines. You see the difference between this material to this material.
Yeah.
Actually, the way.
So the whole thing can be. So this is the place that I was thinking we would set up a printing. So this is a place in New York that you should know about, called Manufacture New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they're this is my friend. She was a former student of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very much into actual manufacturing, not this dinky 3D printing in the schools, or little plastic doodads for blinky blinky. So they're interesting in that they've got this huge facility in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and they may have.
Yes, it is.
They're still pretty new. They've got some big grants, but this is the right place to position you so that people would come, see them printed, kind of be part of a fashion innovation tech-driven hub, and in the right context, right? So that it actually, this is not about exactly what you said. It's not a maker bot or a little. Even I have the other printer that that's it's a 3D.
FDMI?
It's not. No, it's actually it removes. So it's a small, but very well designed. CNC machine. No, it's called the oven mill.
All right.
Which is possible to do it. Now, also, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you Amanda's, because she has. This is the group that have got one of the projects inside of it. Is her shoe. I want to show you her shoe. but let me. They're manufacturing it. Thesis Couture is their brand. So this is the, she says, the world's first high performance high heel stiletto. No, yeah, I really don't like her drawings, I have to say. And anyway, that's the.
It's on the heel. You should print on the heel, not on the.
It's actually, I'm not sure it's even printed.
Mm.
It's so anyway, it's anyway, those are horrible drawings. But they are producing these also at Manufacturing New York. So I haven't yet taken a space there, but I might if we do a few of these. So then we would talk about getting the right printers to do that, but I'm not sure. So we should talk about what those printers are, and I'll ask Amanda if she has any of the printers there, or if she can co-buy them with us, which would make it affordable. So what machines do you, what SOS machines have you used, and what would you recommend? I suppose is the question.
Actually, you know Shapeways?
I haven't used them. I know them.
They print on SLS. So
and you just paid them to, do you pay a commercial firm to print them for you?
Yeah,
that's the other option.
Actually, this is from, no, this is not, but another mock-up was, I use Shapeway, but like I tell you, I use in two different printed SLS and another printed from Straxis, you know,
Yeah.
for this because you know this is like nylon, it's a plastic.
But you used commercial services here, or you had the machines at your school?
I don't have the machine in school. I use in a factory in Israel near Kisara. It's called Aran. It's a factory that they also
yeah, for aerial industry,
yeah,
for the aviation industry also,
Right.
mostly military as you can get.
and I use them, and they was very nice to me. And another factory that I do another, they print another material that it will be more soft here. This part of the shoes need to be more soft because you walk.
But why is it important to print that? Because that's kind of if that's a standard form, you could just actually have that manufactured, right?
I wanted it would be perfect for the shoe, and I took all the size, and you know I can take it out also and change it if it's not if you walk and it's like
It's worn out.
yeah, and I can change it and change color or something like this, and I cannot do it in this part of the shoes in the same material because then when you walk in this floor, you will fall because
Because it's connected.
מונע החלקה.
Yeah, it's anti-skating.
Yeah.
And also because this part is moved in this
Right.
like this, and you walk Meisav.
It's like, wow.
It's a difficult word.
You know this thing that you have in a skateboard or in the car?
It's
a bearing
it cancels
surface,
the movement.
It's not a bearing surface. It's like,
I need to try.
I'll find you the word.
I just show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing
Can
is
I-
to do a fashion show.
You
Try
can
it.
do. Yeah.
I've never tried. So what size are you, is it?
It's 38, but for it will be good for you actually.
I feel like Cinderella.
First of all, you are.
Yeah, but you need to be. But remember that it's not the original, because in the original it's more comfortable and more beautiful, but it's good for you.
Perfect. It's perfect.
You see, that's promotion. It's actually a bearing.
Wow.
It is a bearing.
It's a
You
bearing.
can
Like,
walk
it's an
with
American
it,
English. English, whatever.
Yes.
You can walk on this because you don't have one back.
But you're gonna have high performance back.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's very sexy, actually. But
Wow. So yeah.
let me. Will you speak
Understand?
please for a second?
They don't have this part, so
Yeah.
in this part it's more comfortable.
Can you stop moving?
It's fantastic. So I feel the
They also look great.
yeah, they're a beautiful design. Congratulations. It's
Yeah,
an
you really did a
incredible
great
design.
job. Very nice. They come in black.
In black,
Should they do them in black?
this is what I told you, that if you will print them in New York, I can't. I need to do the color. So actually, maybe
Because
I
the nylon
prefer.
powders, I like white. When it comes natively, it's
Yeah.
in white.
But it's
Yeah, but it's more.
it's a grayish white, right? It's the material white.
Yeah, the material is white and it's not look. It look less designed. You know that.
So what are you saying about the colors?
What I said, how I do the color, you know, fabric color,
Okay.
how you,
Yeah. So nylon takes a normal color. Yeah.
like I put the fabric color in hot water, put the,
Once it's printed, after it's
after
printed.
the print, I print the shoe,
Ah,
I took some, in the kitchen, some hot water with fabric color and put the,
That's simple and the color stays.
yeah, but you need to do it like in the same time, in the same color, a couple times. You need to be exactly, you know what to do exactly. It's not,
And is there a faster way for people to do it faster?
yeah, for sure. If they produce a color in the.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because if you design the color palette, they can have the color mixture in the manufacturing facilities and just have a bath ready or whatever, some sort of whatever ready, and with exact instructions we got from you because you're the designer.
Yeah.
With the exact mixtures of colors or whatever. And you tell them exactly how to do it because that's your design. Part of the design is the color.
but part of that is, yeah, so that would be part of the process, is that people would come to manufacture, they could see their shoe being printed. Sorry?
And choose the color from a color palette.
Yeah. But that the advantage of being able to, one of the overwrought issues through just-in-time manufacturing, 3D printing, is that you can customize it. So this kind of color customization, where people can say they want color.
Yes. You need to ask if you want that the people who wear them also work on these shoes, like they color it, or like
Yes, you could have the design selection, and then people could pay a premium for.
Yeah, they should pay more. They should pay
their
more.
own selection. And
it's like the Adidas and the Nike project when you can customize your own shoes, your own sneakers.
That's the whole overwrought thing about Adidas and
No,
Nike.
I'm not saying. I'm just
It's
saying.
the thing that actually has been most lampooned. It's the thing that I'm reacting against.
No,
It's about how
I know exactly what your reaction to that. I'm just saying, let's use their trick.
It's not their trick.
No, I'm saying
This is
they're
not
using
at all their trick at all.
Okay, they're using.
It is absolutely standard that customization is part of,
That's what I'm saying.
printing. It's got nothing to do with Nike or Adidas at all.
Yeah.
They don't own the idea.
But
They have nothing to do with the idea. They have no experience at all. In fact, you couldn't customize. In fact, it was a whole lie. They in fact don't have customizable things.
Like
And the whole thing that
here
BuzzFeed, you can choose a couple of little dinky little things.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
It's not
It's got
customization.
nothing to do with transparent manufacturing or being able to contribute intelligently to your own product. So it's exactly what it's not about.
So
Yeah, it's a marketing trick, obviously.
Yeah, it was, and in fact, the thesis project of my friend Jonah Peretti, who now runs BuzzFeed, his thesis project was on the customization of Nike, where he wanted to put slave labor on there, and there was a whole series of letters that no, we can't do that, etc.
Yeah.
And that went viral on his capacity to critique corporate, create viral interest out of this is, I think, important. So it's exactly to say, this is not that kind of bullshit.
No, of course
not marketing bullshit. This is actually about, the reason why that dye is important or color is important is because, of course, that's what is in contact with the skin and what kind of dyes you use. There's all sorts of horrible estrogenic hormone emulators that can be, and binders and horrible things and dyes that, if people are going to wear them on their feet will, can affect their health really markedly. So there's the chemistry of dye to make that transparent, to have people to be able to say, understand what's going into their dye, why they're dyeing their shoes, and how they're dyeing them, is, I think, really a kind of a really critical part of a story that people could come into and understand. Would be great. So, it's so the question is, what about this one? Can I try this one?
you can. It's 40.
40, so it's larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 is what, 8?
Yeah, but you can try
But
it.
you were going to show me how that thing works.
This one?
How. Yeah.
This one?
This little toe got most of the impact.
No,
But so in the actual prototype, so yeah, I had a pressure point.
no,
right
but
there.
I just want to because I put a little my color.
I see.
Only yesterday, just like
Yes,
it was special, and I think
it's a nice tattoo. I like that.
it's embarrassing because it has nothing to do with it. You can also try it, but
This is
you will, but I think
I see. Wow.
yeah, but the original
This
one,
is, wow.
yeah, it's very impressive. The original one, here
It's
you,
good that you didn't bring 2 shoes because she would have taken it and start running. That's really impressive.
yeah, I thought it's also unique heel,
Yeah.
and
Beautiful
in
staying.
I can tell you that in the next shoe I did last gamish,
Flexible.
less flexible because
Less flexible in the arch.
here, yeah, less flexible because in this, well, I I really wanted to try the original one. But this is good.
It's very nice.
Yeah, but it's the flexibility. There's more flexibility in here than, which is interesting. So the heel, as opposed to, I feel the flexibility in the heel, so that dominates over the mid. This one, because I suppose I put more.
Or maybe because you have only one shoe on.
You have only one shoe.
Because then the body angles.
I see.
Because there's an angle. I don't know, just a thought about the design.
What do you say?
You're
Very athletic.
Yeah, she is. She says that she feels מרגישה גמישות בחלק האחורי על חשבון החלק האמצעי. אז אני תגיד, אולי זה קשור לעובדה שא' הנעל גדולה עליי, קצת ב' לעובדה שהיא לא נועלת שתי נעליים, וברגע שאתה נועלת שתי נעליים, הזווית של הרגליים שלך משתנה באופן טבעי.
I can tell you also, you maybe feel it because the sorry.
תגידי בעברית, אני יכול לעזור. Okay, the position of the heel has something to do with the size of the shoe eventually.
I see.
Yeah.
So, and because this thing is big on you.
Right.
And also, yeah, and your legs go in a leg. Your legs go
Going backwards.
So yeah, because I got less.
Yeah.
The ball of my foot would be further forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. For my yeah.
She was trying to say that in Hebrew.
Yes.
It sounds very logical in
Yes.
I'm sorry because it's little hard
Yeah,
words.
Yeah, technical words that hardest ones to translate.
Yeah, true. Especially if they're not really international.
Yeah.
I love the flexibility of that. I really like it. To be honest, I love the design of that as a beautiful thing, but this thing is so impressive.
You cannot.
You can't avoid it, obviously. You can't ignore it.
Yeah. Really.
So she needs two pairs of shoes. That's what she's trying to tell you.
So have you done an edition of these yet?
Edition?
An edition.
Actually, I work now on another shoe in these days, but I designed two, but not more yet. I want to.
No, you should עושה ייצור המוני או ייצור מסחרי.
No.
So there's no commercial. It's not a product yet. It's just mock-ups and ideas,
Right.
which is the time to interfere.
Yes. Yeah. So I think.
Especially if she was working on more designs.
Yeah, I think we should do an edition of these. I think we should do an edition of both.
Both.
Yeah. I mean, we should talk about this. That I can then do the kind of launch in New York City.
Yeah.
That
means you have to.
Well, we'll have to perfect the design. Yeah, you should come over.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to.
and I think the thing about taking a space in manufactured New York, where people can come and visit and see them being made.
It's a good idea because they already have attention by themselves.
Yeah.
So.
They have attention, yeah. But it's actually, for me, I think it's important to take this project. I don't know. So we should talk about it because it's a project that I care about for all the reasons that I, talked about the gender politics, the integration of engineering into fashion in the right context that really makes sense. But really, the most important thing is to exploit 3D printing for what it's good for, which is
This is the point.
yeah.
And you both did speak. She said that in Hebrew, and you said that.
Yeah.
That's basically where you're both coming from.
Yeah.
To utilize this medium, if you want to call it, to show what it's really good for.
Yeah. So
Not
really
the nonsense that people do there.
Yeah.
Let's print a banana. Yay.
No.
Well,
you cannot do it in another. You cannot do it another option It's the only way to do it.
That's a very good thought. You know?
Yeah.
So the best way to do it is not by mass injection,
It's
but by 3D printing.
Yeah.
Which basically puts the 3D printing on top of the manufacturing process.
But it does, and that's why I think it's the right item for 3D printing. In so much, is that a horse?
Where?
It's not a real horse, right? It's not
No, it's not moved. In the balcony.
No, it's this statue. She's a sculptor. She's very famous. Her name is Ilana. She sells all over the world.
Wow.
It's a museum.
Yeah,
She's not absolutely talented, to be honest, but still, you know.
It's a horse.
It's famous.
I wish it was a real horse.
Yes, and we all wish we had an elephant here in the balcony, but that's not exactly how these things work in an urban environment. Unfortunately.
I have plans.
My dream was to have a baby elephant. But the problem with baby elephants is that they tend to grow up and fall downstairs because no regular floor can hold 6 tons of an elephant. And but that was meant to have a baby elephant. But there's no bonsai elephant. They won't stay 80 kilos.
No, but horses are actually integrated into the urban environment, and they happily live in
You can see
stables.
horses here in Jaffa. You can see them. Some people have horses in Jaffa.
Okay, but anyway, about this, the idea of doing an edition of these. Would you change this design if we did an edition of say we did 100 and we sold them at?
How much does it cost to manufacture? That's the issue.
Yeah, for me, it's how much does it cost to establish the idea more than just the materials cost, and to establish this as a as an open manufacturing, highly transparent, innovation-driven, design-driven,
Talent-driven,
yeah,
environmentally driven.
yeah.
For all the right reasons.
Yeah, rather than just the manufacturing cost. Because I imagine, to purchase the machine, if I have to purchase a machine in New York, or I imagine if I have to get one of these nylon machines, probably for the first edition or two, we would just find somebody
Someplace.
to print them.
Really too,
Yeah.
because she has 2 materials inside.
But ideally, people could come and see their shoes being printed, right?
Yeah.
They could maybe come and press
Push print,
print.
yeah.
I think that would be the ideal way to
Be part of the.
but to do it not in a dinky little retail store, to do it in this, in New York City, but in this massive waterfront manufacturing center that's about actually bringing manufacturing back to New York City, which isn't there. So it's really, and actually we should do the same thing here.
Let's do it, just say the word.
There's waterfront development here.
She was shocked from the warehouse over there, the market that failed, and now there's hardly anything there but some hall upstairs, and that's it. It used to be a concert hall. The Beastie Boys performed here on the 2nd floor 15 years ago. There's an amazing space there with huge windows, and if somebody can get that and do there's only a stupid restaurant there.
So manufacturing in New York is really nice. I think it's the perfect context to do this. But for us to probably, I don't know how much these machines are, but this Status machines, I think, were.
Yeah, it's not.
$80,000.
It's simple.
Yeah, they're like. The question is, could we print it on Carbon 3D? Having the Carbon 3D, which is this other manufacturing 3D printer that can actually, we can specify the materials.
So what do you ask?
I'm just trying to talk about the costs and the designs that we would print. How do we actually do this? Because
I think there.
Because there's either we we do of say 10 or 20 pairs
Yeah.
that we get printed somewhere in New York.
Yeah. There's some, look, this is a prototype, it's a good prototype, but
Yeah.
I don't know, there's some points that they need to solve it out. Like you say, you want to keep research on this.
Yeah.
If I correct me if I don't understand something. And the keep research had need to לא, לא, זה שאלות כאילו שאני צריכה לחשוב עליהן. אבל מה שאני רוצה להגיד, שזה הפיתוח, דבר ראשון שאני חייבת להיות כתהליך הפיתוח, ושאני כבר יודעת חלק מהבעיות שאני רוצה לתקן בהן.
Okay, she says she must be a part of the development of the entire thing.
Yeah.
And that she knows already the issues that need to be addressed during the actual manufacturing in order to make the product better and more efficient.
So you should be in New York when we print out the first.
That was the
edition.
next sentence that I'm going to say.
Yeah.
She's really good at that. She's taking my endings and she gives the big finale, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So the question is, and you're ready to do this anytime soon. Yes?
Yeah.
Good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But now we have to figure out how to make it work financially.
Wait, maybe a part of the whole research will be to, if you're saying you still have issues to address, maybe the other issue to address is the colors. I'm sorry, but people like me look at the potential help during the process. This is my job as a producer. The colors are the issue. Wait, I tell you why. Because this is the only thing which isn't done within the box. You're leaving the box for that. You're leaving the box, there's room for interpretation immediately. Okay, so the specifications and orders in terms of painting should be very specific, and that should be part of the issues to address. So the issue won't be, I got this shoe, I made it in black, and it became gray after 2 days.
I don't think
because you need those agents to be happy.
Nylon is hard to make color fast. That's just one of the issues with this material.
Yeah.
I don't think I know you're talking fashion world that this is.
No, I'm talking a person. If somebody spends $200 for a pair of shoes.
No, they're going to be spending $1,200, and it's going to be about being part of a research. They're not buying a pair of shoes. They're buying into a project. They're kind of participatory researchers. Kickstarter is kind of treating people as if they're just a bit of money.
Kickstarter is like having yourself a small savings account sponsored by people. What she's referring to is people that feel a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that researching the actual thing, promoting the new ideas, which are with great causes that everybody believes in, that we believe in anyway. And that's it, you know. And that way they will be very willing to pay more, definitely. That's why my thought anyway. And they will be able to.
Well, they're not buying a pair of shoes. They're
buying an idea.
They're buying into a research project. They're supporting the kind of manufacturing transformation that we'd all like to see. So it's about. So Kickstarter is about giving people little trinkets for selling gadgets, and it doesn't. And certainly. Many of my former students have done very well. The ones that do really well on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter actually, I was the first person they came to, first artist they came to do a project with them, and because I was already doing things like it. I just have a lot of difficulty giving that much money to a for-profit corporation that isn't, they don't do anything, right?
Yeah.
And they take, and they take an enormous amount and they don't. And you know, Yancey's a nice guy, but he's, you know, this is not the way to promote young designers. Is to take. I mean, we could do a Kickstarter campaign. It's a great way to do it, but in fact,
I understand.
You know, it works, but it's not. There's a lot of limits to that, and the better Public Lab, who have done who are former students who have done a really nice set of projects, did do Kickstarters, but then all of the discussion afterwards, because Kickstarter platform doesn't manage the discussion afterwards, so we still have to build a platform that has people upload images of them using it, that has, you know, comments, you know, that documents their funny video as they fall, or, you know, whatever. You know, there's a real openness that kind of celebrates the participation of many people, that, you know, is rich enough information for you to be able to find useful for designs, and for and to actually be a useful document itself. Because I suppose the marketing that I think is, I suppose I also have an allergy to the video of, please donate your.
No, it's not the point.
Yeah.
But where you want to research all the work in NYU or?
Yeah, I mean, I have NYU. I have a lab there.
Yeah.
And we have Manufacture New York. Amanda's a PhD in, and she's great. So we can do. I have my best chemistry colleagues. If we were going to do some things with the dyes, I'm really interested in the red as a the cochineal red. Extraordinary history. You know, the red coats, the red Chinese red everything comes from this little beetle, and so fostering those beetles and creating an ecosystem for those beetles is part of one of the things. So actually looking at, you know, if we do colors, you know, that's another story about how to get really interesting colors into this. But
were they incorporated in 3D? Because it's very common color.
Because there's not really any real products in. I mean, in SLS, it's more architectural models. They're not things that are very used, really. I mean, maybe you know that. Are there more products that have really integrated 3D printing into performance wear?
Actually, baby steps right now.
Sorry?
I think it's just baby steps now with that. They're entering semi-uncharted territory.
There's a whole lot of jewelry
that's
being done. There's a whole lot of wearable jewelry.
I think actually in SLS printer is from my experience, it's the best printer, because it's very exactly, and this is the real material. It's not like So this is very important.
You actually print the product, not the mock-up of a product. That's
this is not
that's what she's trying to say.
It was part of the research of me, but it's the real material. It's work. You can, when you walk in this, you can see what we need to, and what is the next step. That is the real material. So it's very important.
So ideally, we could maybe get a machine sponsored by. So you think we need 2 machines? If we
don't they have machines that can cross between 2 materials, or it doesn't work like that because of the temperature?
Not SLS.
Not SLS.
Some
they basically need 2 SLSs or compatible
one
machines.
SLS and one like stratasys, but
but it's a white color, right?
Yeah, but everything that go out from the machine is white.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. She's trying to
Yes, I know. But I have a.
I think they also now in black, but
Yeah.
I saw 3D printing in blue, so was it colored?
There's lots
it's called.
in nylon. So the actual material is colored.
The nylon, white.
Yeah.
It's white base material.
There's thousands of colors. I mean, in fact, in any
No, I
makeup
thought that maybe somebody caught on something.
nylon is
Nylon
weird
is white,
material.
obviously.
Yeah, and also I saw now in black, but I don't sure it's in the same printer or the same material, because you can print the same material in another printer, but all printer there's plus and minus.
Yeah.
Like
Disadvantages and advantages. But in terms of behavior of the shoe, will it change it will change with the material?
Yeah.
So you need to use that material in that printer in order to achieve that performance, in theory, or correct me.
Well, the only other thing, I'm trying to send you a couple of links, but I don't have, for reasons I don't understand.
Because we never asked her for her email address.
I'll send you these. Yeah, I'll send you these links so that you can do some more research.
I love your pants.
Are they leather? No.
No, it's not leather. No, actually I bought it.
Ah, she bought it. I thought she made them.
Okay. So this is just the
Links.
This is the Director of Technology at Manufacture New York.
All right.
She did this, but they've got about 10 or 20 companies in this place. So the question is whether or not we can afford to take a space here, whether or not it makes sense for you to come over and work there for a little bit.
Because the research takes days. It's not a matter of a short trip.
Yeah.
Or you can solve most of the issues before you start.
Sure. I mean, part of this is the international collaboration. Right? That's part of the story is that you can send me a file in New York.
Yeah, but after we solve all the problems.
Yeah.
So now we're discussing about the research of it, this is mock-up, but it's a really, really good mock-up because I know a lot of problems and how I need to solve it.
Yeah. So we should, in fact, if we...
Is it possible to get a grant from some inter-collaboratory thing?
Yeah, if you want to wait 18 months. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's a $10,000 grant from Infosys, which I think actually produce
Will 10 grand cover the machine? No.
No. We may be able to get some. It's a stupid impy makers. So this. It's due on. It was due on March 4th, and so the next one is. This is just for 3D printing.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure if you told the company of this 3D printer that you want to research and you are who are you, and they will.
There's another option.
Yeah.
How about making us less famous?
It's famous. It's really, really,
but
really
they never
famous.
did that.
They never did that. But yes, we can go for corporate sponsorship, and it just takes. I can tell you, I've tried it many times, and to actually get cash out of people, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just takes. If you want to work on it for 6 months again, it's like it's easier, I think, than, you know, in this case, you have to make a video, and I mean, I know 3 of the jurors, and they've asked me to do it, and I can't bear doing stupid 8 hours of counting words and putting them in their stupid little field.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not a good use of my time. It's fine to do. We could do it.
Okay,
It's finding money for it is hard. Finding grants is hard. I would rather just do it anyway. And you know, we can find grants. So yeah, we can go sponsorship. I have a good friend with Carbon 3D. Carbon 3D is the sexiest, newest. They're the ones that know me well enough. AutoCAD have also approached me. But they've again got these stupid little, they ask you to apply for dumb little grants that are whatever, $8,000, and they make you go and sit in San Francisco for, you know, in their stupid little lab for a while, which might be fine to do. I don't know. It's I could put you onto those. It's just, you don't want to work in their constraints, right? I mean, they have.
We're designers, we're not.
They have their little corporate agendas. That is, you know, frankly, so I'm not interested in promoting AutoCAD, you know, or Infosys. And I don't, you know, and to have them promote our project means that we have less, you know, what they're trying to, you know,
they're trying to gain control, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
You know exactly what they want.
So it's. I mean, it's a hard thing. I find it very difficult to raise money, and
so maybe let me think with you. Why not just do a Kickstarter for the first 100 pairs of shoes?
Good. But doing Kickstarter means we've got to get $20,000 at least for doing a really good video. That's, you know, really, and it means to run the Kickstarter, it takes 5 people to man it for, you know, for it's that it doesn't really solve anything. It just makes it another. It's a way of structuring your marketing campaign that it forces you to do it, and you work on it full time for a while, and that's fine. I'm not against doing a Kickstarter. As I said, I know that if we do a Kickstarter,
not to work on to work.
I think we've got enough to start doing this. I've got enough of an idea of where we would do it, who we might get initial support for. I can, if you had a damn master's degree, I can give you the visa for free. But either way,
German passport. Maybe it's out for visa.
If you have your own, you know. I mean, you don't actually need a visa.
I don't need it. Like
we can
there and there.
Yeah, you should do a master's. In fact, the good masters. So here's the masters that you need to look into.
Now she's going to send you to school.
Well, she wants to do one anyway.
Yes.
So in New York at SBA, there's a program run by a friend of mine.
Maybe you can send links.
Yeah.
Actually.
So I'm sending you the link for this. So have a look at Carbon 3D.
Yeah.
As the printer.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Send me also this link.
But the thing is, we could start taking orders now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is my point. We can, if we have a really nice project description, we say this is what we're doing, we say, you know, we're in this development process, and
how long do you think it will take you to solve those issues? I think that's the main issue. We need the delivery time.
Well, no, we could say, I mean, all of these questions have to be answered. But I say, if we say the first 10 alpha prototypes, we might make available for, you know, 2,200 each, right? That would give us enough to bring you over, maybe set up, you know, start to do, I don't know, how
buy
much
a pizza.
Whatever.
That's it.
It's not a lot. I mean, selling products expensively is a hard way to raise money.
True.
But Yeah, but I certainly, I really want to be careful how we would position it so that it's not people saying, okay, I'm buying something like in Kickstarter that I want in 6 weeks. Right? Because, yeah. So it's really got to manage the expectations of
So how about, first of all, not 10, but let's be more creative. Let's do a baker's dozen. It's much sexier than 10. It's more money.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think that's the number.
No, it's the figure.
Well, it's not really the figure. It's what to do first. I mean, how much does it cost to print one here now?
This is what I want to talk that maybe the reality is that I print some 2 shoes and send you, and here, and I do the color and all this, and the different and print it in a different printer. In the beginning, and then after this, it's the next steps. How much is the printing here? You asked me. It's like
yeah. So if you
$500.
$500. Okay, so why don't we just
$600?
Can I? How long would it take to print a pair? Could we have a pair printed by Monday?
No, it's weekend. It's yeah.
If we call it's today Friday. Already.
But I can send you. It's until you come back to New York. It will take me 2 weeks.
Okay. I think one.
Could very well be one would.
Yeah.
Feral trade.
Yeah, feral trade. We could. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
He might come to New York shortly, and so he can feral trade it and print it here.
All right.
But
I need to talk with Dan. When you will fly?
I don't know yet. I'm very flexible. Depends on my studio scheduling and her schedule. She's very hard woman to catch. But keep me updated. We'll be in touch. Tell me what's happening. Print. Maybe you should print 2 pairs, not 1.
Yeah.
To move around.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you need to print 2 pairs because you have 2 models. You can't print 1.
Yeah, 2. I think.
You basically need to print 4 shoes. 2 pairs.
Yeah.
So what I think, even worst case scenario, we send them. It's not an issue, you know.
Yeah, it's
not a big issue for the first round, but it's to have something physical to walk around and to show around, especially with the contacts. That's a very good idea.
This is the first step.
And that will help you also solve the issues, the immediate issues that need to be addressed for those mock-ups, for the upcoming mock-ups.
To solve the problem, you need to start research.
Yeah, but if there is something immediate, you can already improve it in the next print.
Yeah, but
because it's all about research, of course.
But you did it through Shapeways? No. Did you publish your thing on Shapeways?
I didn't.
You didn't publish it. That's something to talk about. Should we publish it?
Not in this moment, for sure.
Yeah. She wants to be perfect. I already got that.
No, it's not that. It's a. How do you? The thing about even if you publish it, people can't make it, right? Because they don't have
the design.
Well, they do. They have the design, the printer, but they don't have the printer. It's something much more than. So yeah, and there's it's something about developing the story and creating the whole. There's so much more to just
put on the button.
Yeah. So that the point is, this is something we can talk about more later because it's probably worth it in terms of telling the story to be able to say, yes, you can download the designs, but nobody will, right? That's the whole thing about the, and if they do, I mean, when we would publish the designs, I suppose there's a whole thing about open research.
Yeah.
That actually should.
It's good, something, but it's not in these steps.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that, but it's something that we need to talk about more, because having a radically open process and radically participatory design process where, I mean, that's the other thing about open source. The lie about open source is that somehow it just creates innovation.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I mean, if someone really intellectually owns this design, and the feedback that, if I did try to print it myself and download the thing, and then I knew that I could talk to you about it and say, this went wrong, or can we do this better, or, that there was it doesn't, and unless you have the personal connection, unless you have the sense of actually being able to credit and work with and identify, and open source doesn't work. So the open source, even in software projects that have none of the material complexity and none of the branding issues, unless they've got a really strong owner who decides when to fork, decides when to so it's not a free for all, and I think this is something you're intuitive about, right? But
I have a question. Should we find also partners in other countries that might do?
Yeah, I mean, we can.
It will make the launch easier for a start. I have this friend in London, not in London, in North of England now. She's a branding expert, but she's really into design. She has this design company where she basically collects stuff from all over the world, and she curates them. And maybe she's somebody to speak with, because she's super well connected. But she comes from marketing, which is my ex automatically, because they speak the language, which is she knows the lingo, but she's an artistic person. The problem is, what's the weight of lingo? I'm just trying to figure out more people with more connections that can help us distribute the idea in a better way. To launch the idea in a better way.
I don't think it's I think that's again
for the next thing.
Yeah, it's the idea is not to do a mass product launch, right? The idea is to
find the right agent.
That will thoroughly trade, and that will. I mean, and if she's from marketing, she'll know nothing about the kind of punk systems design, critical.
Yeah, but she's very much into environment, and she's very much into
most people in environment are really.
She gave a lot of money for some place that they treat elephants. So
exactly that kind of conservation.
That's the character, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm at war with, right? Because they're anti-tech. They're kind of products are bad, and they're not about redesigning. The whole sustainability world is about either bullshit or use less energy, use less, not
consume. Yeah.
No, it's it's a longer story that I think you're intuitive about, but it's not about traditional sustainability, environmental marketing. They are completely and utterly about moralistic, save the elephants, save conservation, and save. I think it's hard enough to kind of figure out the story now before you start involving and educating people who have completely the wrong ideology to begin with, have got no design sensibility, have no kind of technical understanding, have no sense of what systems transformations, new economic forms, new material forms. They just don't. They don't get it. They don't come from that. So I just spend time trying to find paths for what, right?
Yeah.
I think right now the big questions are, making one or two, getting a website up that starts to tell the story. When do we enlist people? When do you come over? How much? Where do we get a little bit of money to get a space? When would we actually print the first edition? When would we?
But if be part of your lab, it's not that we solve some problem of this.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, as part of my lab, it's fine. We can do that. I think the better place to do it is in manufacturing in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, we can start it now.
Yeah.
And I can start putting up a blog. This is on there. You know, there's initial planning. You know, everything I do is about radical transparency. So we can start it, and we could, you know, make an offer to say, you know, we're doing maybe if we print one pair and sell one pair, you know, for $4,000, right? Which would be enough to bring you over and initiate, I don't know, just through my personal network. And then if your friend, right, has money and is the right sort of person to do that, see, I have a feeling the people with money that I know won't spend money.
Exactly.
They absolutely will not. They're all the people, all the kind of.
It's called the rich man's disease.
Yeah, they get everything for free.
Yeah.
People get all these prototypes to try and get them interested, and they actually don't invest, right? The people who really will invest in this project are real micro investors, so people, young designers like us, right? Less young designers. The people who really are professionally interested in this.
Yeah.
Anyone I know, I mean, I know the editor of Vogue magazine, but Sally Singer will not, you know, everything gets given to her, right? And I'm not about to give, I mean, the kind of expectation of, it's really horrible, of press and marketing people that they just get given stuff and everything's free, and any event drives me crazy. So it's much more a personal story about how to.
This is why the blog idea is such a good idea, because blog is more personal, right? It's more, you know, one-to-one interaction.
Yeah, but
so how about making two-pairs and selling them? That you have a bit of money to fly over, to do whatever you need. To continue moving to the next step, selling 2 pairs for, let's say, $3,000 each.
Maybe we'll find a printer over there as well. So we'll print a pair here and we'll print a pair there and do a nice comparison to see. So we'll just find a commercial printer. What is that? A commercial printer in New York. So we'll print a couple of pairs here with the place that you've already been using.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can send those over. Right. Next step would be to print a version in New York.
And see if it matches the same quality and the same paragraph.
Yeah.
Or we update and change that.
Yeah, you see, it's not going to be a problem.
Anyway, she's going to be there.
You know, the other place that I'd love to retail through is there's this lovely old shoemaker in my neighborhood who's an old Russian immigrant, very heavy accent, he's very sweet. And the whole idea of getting an SLS printer in his rustic little thing is very sweet. I mean, we might do that as a gag, but I actually do think, I suppose, would it be to spend 6 months in New York? Normally, I can figure out how to make it. Anyway, we can figure out the visa some way. There might be some sort of exchange visa we could do. I can offer some sort of fellowship, even though to get the visiting scholar status, which just, the thing about it is that it makes NYU do the visa process, which is $8,000 worth of legal work, right? Just to pay a lawyer to do their thing. But that's the thing I need a master's for. But actually, I was going to go through, but I think you could do this on a tourist visa.
Tourist visa is what, 90 days?
No, 3 months.
90 days. It's the same amount of
But
days.
you can be 3 months, go out.
Exactly. You can go for 2.5 months, go home to visit the family for 2 weeks and come back, not the end of the world.
Go to
Go to Mexico, go to Guadalajara, get drunk, and come back,
one my brother. But
Right.
But look, it's very interesting, all what we're talking about, and I'm really interested. But there's some points I think,
Right.
That if it's a time and how, if we're research there, how I cannot work in the same time.
I know, that's supporting you where you live, I mean, all of those things are that if I can get you a visa, then you can do work related to, and then you can get paid, and then you can do things. So the question is,
if I will do it at the same time masters, they will bring you a visa?
Yeah, you can get a student visa easily. And I think I might be able to squeezy this, basically because the administrators at NYU don't understand Hebrew. So maybe it's the
equivalent
of
master's. Yeah.
And then process it.
It's the Indian way of calling yourself a doctor,
Yeah. But that's the other thing, is that SBA, the programs that I'm going to recommend to you, cost a shitload of money, and it's terrible how much money they cost.
But they don't scholarship?
Some of them have little bits of scholarship, but it's in design, it's really hard. Pratt is very expensive. Parsons is New School. There's an interaction design program. I know pretty much everyone. The one I would recommend for you is Products of Design, which is Alan Chochnor, who runs Course 77. You know Course 77? Course 77 is probably the most influential design blog. And Alan Chochnor is the most interesting kind of intellectual involved in this area. So he would be good. There's possibly something through Amanda and their funding, but they're using all their funding to do this huge building. And Columbia, I have a new systems design engineering program, which it's actually much more for engineers. But there's also GSET, which is the urban planning. And that's a great program that's good, but it's more architecture, urban planning, not product scale. Your degree is in industrial design?
You're actually in fashion, but I would love to
in fashion.
Yeah.
But the reputation of where she studied is a very, very high international reputation, as you know, because it's one of the best design schools, one of the most credible, for some reason, schools in the world. I don't know why, but who cares? Maybe it's good for the Hebrew-English translation of things. Maybe their bachelor's degree equals half, 3/4 of a master's, whatever. If you know how to say it.
The cheaper place to study is in the UK. And RCA is that's also Design Interactions program, which is currently headless, but it was run by Tony Dunn and Fiona Raby. There's actually a new program that's run by a very, what's her name, in London, called Anthropology of
It's not New York.
not New York. But I have sent all of my really best graduate students to London because I don't know how to get funding for students in. So there might be some Israeli Fulbright funding that you could get for studying in New York.
How about there's the place, מכון הייצוא, שיש להם כל מיני grants, החבר'ה האלה של משרדי הממשלה יש grants. There's some government grants that are intercooperating with friendly countries. What's more friendly than America? Because
There should be some Israeli funding for graduate work.
for Israeli young innovators,
Yeah.
you know, she's an that's what she's
Yeah.
an Israeli young
So
innovator.
the idea is to do some research on that. You're going to be better at doing some research on that.
Yeah.
There is the MIT Media Lab.
Yeah,
Which-
I know that.
Yeah,
I really
and
been there.
yeah, and it's stupid. Right?
Yeah.
You don't learn anything there. It's right.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing. I mean, the person that you would probably want to study with there is Mary. Yeah,
Wow.
and she's sweet, but
She's from Israel.
yeah, she is. Yeah. But then you'd be working on her work, which is fine. You know, I like her work. She's good. But she comes from an architectural. She's not Amanda.
Yeah.
She's not me. She's not.
Yeah.
She's coming from a formal. You know, it's fine. Mary's probably the most interesting person there. I mean, it's a great place to be, and it's easy to get funding. I mean, it's funded there, and it's prestigious. But I literally I've sent 10 students through there, and they do it, but they don't get. They're all disappointed by their graduate experience because it's not an intellectual contest, right? It's the critique that you have done of 3D printing. They have not yet done, right?
All right.
Fab Lab, for
Yeah.
instance, which is a network of, and you know, what's his name's project? He just did a TED talk on it. Fab Lab it's actually run by a really good graduate student of mine who I like very much, Nadia. And she's very good with materials, but she doesn't come from a design world at all, right? And Fab Lab, I don't know if you know the Fab Lab. Yeah. I mean, they say we can make anything. You can do a few little electronic circuits and make a little. You can't make it. It doesn't engage with the wide tradition of design and social issues at all, and it really is tragic to see the kind of the way that even in South America they're investing in Fab Labs. It's associated with MIT, and they think this is and what has come out of a Fab Lab? What interesting design project has come out of a Fab Lab? I mean,
I don't know. Actually,
for hundreds of millions of dollars investment. Really, because it costs $1 million to set up a Fab Lab. These things to set them up and put these machines there. Nothing comes out. The only one that's doing interesting things is the one that's in the architecture school in Barcelona. And that's because it's in an architecture school. People are doing interesting things. They're engaged with design as a discourse. So this whole idea that you can just plonk down some machines and interesting things happen, and this is your pathway to innovation. Boulder Library, I mean, all of these libraries around the country, around the US, maker bots and various things so people can print out dinky little blinky blinkies and little, It's not innovation, right? It requires a systematic analysis of some sort to innovate. So while they're there to take advantage of, they buy the machines, they don't fund positions, right? I would like to be able to say to you, here's a fellowship at this lab that because you're a young designer who's used 3D printing really well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you could go and work there, you know, consult 2 days a week and have the rest of. They don't do that. Right? They just buy the machines and they don't invest in people, right?
It's very important to connect between the people and the machine.
So it puts it's part of the damage of having this 3D printing world, you know, promulgated by these MakerBot journalists who aren't designers, right, and aren't engaged with design and don't understand what it takes to educate design. And design is a bigger discourse, and it's about engaging as much in craft practices and understanding, you know, feminist theory as much as it is about being able to press print on a MakerBot, right, or do a 3D drawing, right? That it's a larger social discourse. So, I mean, in terms of graduate school, I think you doing a trip over there to talk with Alan Chochnov, and in fact, the people who ran, you don't know, and Tony Dunn. Have you not come across them? No. Anyway, they're a really interesting design couple. And they ran this program and developed this program at the Royal College of Design Interactions, which used to be interaction design, and it's much more about ubiquitous computing and Internet of Things and new forms of money and lots of good things. It was actually I was invited to come to your university. I should find out who that was.
Yeah, really? Because
but I didn't come because it was too far. It used to seem too far away. I was at one point.
My teacher is. We love if you would come.
Really? Who is your teacher?
It's called Eliova Ginsburg. Was my it's not like this. No, not GU. You're looking in the.
You know what? Wait. First, the name of your university is
Bezalel. BE. This.
Yeah. This Andrew Ingle and Gord Mazur. Yeah, that's who. This is
Something from Europe.
interesting. Yeah, but this was years ago. But that's who might fund actually. There's EM, is that right? That's EL. So this, who's that? Oh no, that's Andrew, 3 years ago. And I almost came, let's see if he's still around. No, he's, this nomination. So this is a nomination. Maybe I'll give him a quick call and see if he's around. This morning, because maybe we could get some funding through them to get you over. But so this is actually
Elisa.
Yeah, it's a New York-based. Partner is the
Not only bits of it.
right, but it was in my case. I think it was. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Just
you. Yes, all.
I have this other one for you here. Manufacturing and filmmakers. Remind me for the AutoCAD. Autodesk. 3D printing fellowship. That's another one that maybe you can do. So okay, now schools. So look up this is the program we should do. I mean, there is the NYU ITP, but you know, that's the well-known masters, and there's some good people there. But again, funding is very. About funding. But you know, have a look into these programs.
Right.
You know, MIT. The problem with the MIT Media Lab is it's funded. Did you talk to what's her name about studying there with her?
I was there when I visited my brother, and I didn't talk with her, and just I do there in some meeting in Media Lab.
Yeah,
but not in the Neri Oxman lab.
Yeah, so you could talk to Neri. The thing about it's a funded program, but it's in Boston.
Yeah.
Boston, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I would recommend. Yeah, it would be interesting for you to do that, but it's a different kind of discourse, and she's what I think you're interested in. But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, and anybody else? There's another program at MIT at the Media Lab that I've got a great student in, and it's.
But it's not about all what we're talking. It's not to come to.
No, they have got no environmental agenda at all. They have got no manufacturing agenda at all. They've got no social, political, social justice agenda at all. They've got no political, it's gadget, corporate bullshit. That's what it's always been. It's the most internally referenced lab. I mean, I've got some good friends there. Hiroshi, she's there. Joey Ito, who's running it. He's a very smooth talker, but they're not important intellectuals. They're not. They don't have. They don't have. And they're not engaged with design. They don't. You know, it's not interesting design. It's blinky blinky. And it's bad science, and it's bad social politics, and it's corporate agendas, and you know.
I'm sorry for that. I've been waiting to this call from your his engineer.
How is he?
He's much better. He was in the hospital yesterday. He did some checks. They're saying that he's okay, but might be missing some vitamins, and he misses obviously loads of sleep. So he's going to have some more series of tests on Sunday morning. He was told to lie down, of course he didn't. He was told to rest, of course he didn't. And because you know, and this is the first call he is actually doing, because he knows I'm waiting and he knows he won't nag. So he sent a text to Pat, and he called me to say.
Did you?
I told him about yesterday.
Yes.
He wants to kill himself now because he wasn't there. I told him about the magical moment.
Oh. So this is the other program at the MIT Media Lab Act, and it's actually really not like the Media Lab. Right? Intellectually, it's great. So then you could, if you went there, you could actually you could take whatever courses you like at the Media Lab. You could work a little bit with Neri, but then not only work with Neri, right? Which might be better, because the people that run this program is a Lithuanian guy. Being non-American is a big advantage. Just send this one off, just to do some research on who they are. Come on. This is somehow not loading. I sent you this
Something?
yeah, the invitation I got. So this is the she's really great. I don't know her actually. Jones.
Ah, wow.
Joan Jonas is really important. Get a Minus is great. So I've worked with him quite closely, and these are all good people. So this is much more from an intellectual, conceptual art, rather than from a technology point of view.
It's from 2012.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're still. So I think he was directing the program. So I've got a student working closely with him at the moment, Joseph, who's really great young guy who's doing water pumping technologies and, you know, engaging with old new forms of 3D printing applied to water technology. Really,
What, the valves and stuff?
I don't know where he's going with it.
Because I remember discussing that with the father of my heirs, who was really into that for his business. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Renee is
it's a
pretty
big
interesting too. Yeah, but they're not really fashion people. And in terms of fashion tech people to work with, Amanda is the best person, I think, for you to work with. Who runs manufacturing in New York and who's done this other program, that's Thesis Couture. But she's affiliated with Columbia. She's kind of affiliated with me in that way. I think the ideal situation for you would be to get in through Alan Chochnow's program, because Alan's
Send me this.
Yeah, that's the SBA program in products of design.
It's in New York.
It's in New York.
Right.
Best for you to be in New York, in the fashion, have a studio manufacture in New York where we can set up this this project and have it funded through an Israeli. That's what I think is the best situation here, because New York is where fashion happens. Media Lab, MIT is going to be always out of it, and it's possible that you do that there and come down every month or so, and
what is this program? It's not something that I can with you.
Which program?
What you send me.
Alan's.
Yeah, Alan's program is not. It's through SVA. But it's a great program in that it's a lot of interdisciplinary design people. And Alan really comes from he's probably the most influential design writer in the, and he's not. So the thing about, I just wouldn't think that I think the MIT Media Lab would be great in terms of a funded place, and great to engage with. I just don't think it would be that intellectually stimulating for you. Whereas this program, the ACT program might be, but they're less about fashion and product and design. They're more about conceptual art and filmmaking. They're very, Gediminas is great. We just did a program in Lithuania on animal interfaces and looking at animal zoetics, which was great. And my student is having a great, he's intellectually a big, he's a big idea person. I think having you in New York, if this is technology, it's just that Manufacture New York is just happening, right? They've just gotten funding. They're really the place to be taken seriously. If you don't just, this is a good enough project to really make happen, not just as a nice thesis project, right? Yeah. Which it's a great thesis project. It really is a great thesis project, and it's great analysis and great thinking, and it's worth more than just getting you into a graduate program, right? To do something else. That's what my I think that's my as somebody who's done a lot of projects that haven't been developed properly, it starts eating at your heart. Right?
היא אמרה שהיא חושבת שזו תזה מצוינת, מעניינת ומקורית ועשויה טוב, אבל זה מגיע לזה הרבה יותר מאשר תזה. וזה בערך מחמאה בגודל של עניין אם לא הבנתי. היא אמרה שבתור אדם שעשה הרבה מאוד פרויקטים שלא הגיעו לכלל סיום, זה מאוד מתסכל וזה אוכל לך את הלב. וכל המדענים מדברים ככה. וזה נורא נכון, אני אומר לך את זה בעברית. זה נורא נכון. ולזה מגיע לצאת החוצה לעולם, ולך מגיע לצאת החוצה לעולם. אני חושבת שזה שווה הרבה יותר סתם לתקוע אותך בעוד תוכנית של מאסטרס, במקום לך לקבל את התוכנית של מאסטרס.
Yeah.
We're just saying bad things about
you. Yeah, but I think also that there's a time issue here.
Exactly.
It's really, now is the time for these.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
This is you're right.
This is the time to do it.
If you wait, it's not the...
No, this is the time to do it. This is the product to do it, and this is the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And this
but you have the option. I think you have the option, and I could certainly, I'm just licensing it to somebody, right? That's, I think, another option to you, and then going on with other projects.
Yeah.
That's an option to you, and going on to graduate school, and working with Neri on her projects, and that would be, that would be fine for you. But I think it would not be great for these. I think that nobody else is really going to do this, really going to exploit what is important about these. You might, and I can, as I said, I'm pretty well connected in, not because I'm in the fashion world, but because Sally Singh is a friend of mine who's been the editor at Vogue for a long time, and she's, and there's also a couple of really interesting designers there that, I think would license this and adapt it and
That's not
do
correct. This is
whatever.
an item in Vogue the second you issue the press release.
yeah. But so we
This
wanna
is
have,
why we should be very careful for the timing and
well, and I can
preparation.
tell you who showed me your project is I'm getting, the reason why Obama did a Maker Day is because of this young assistant to my friend Megan, who's the CTO of America. And they're desperate to find decent projects with Maker stuff. And she knows my research and knows that I've done a lot of work on shoes, and I had just sent her Amanda's because Megan Smith, who's the CTO of America, who's making Obama talk about this, is she's an engineer from MIT who I was the best man at her wedding, so a very dear friend of mine, and full of the hype, and I'm trying to make sure that there's something real behind the hype that 3D printing. And anyway, so there's a the White House knows about you.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, I can go on with sleep good.
No, you won't sleep good tonight. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is now is the
In
time.
a good way, they know about you. It's not that there's a video outside for the second you leave the house.
Yeah.
Not like me, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's there's a lot to figure out, but
not so big problem. We can figure it out.
No, I don't see
This
any
was-
specific. Those are technicalities, what you're mentioning. If I heard those, I overheard some of the things from the other room. Those are all technicalities.
Yeah.
Those are not big, substantial issues that can hold or divert the project.
Yeah.
The second the decision is made, the project is happening.
I think, but for me to spend some significant time in New York
That's
is a funding issue.
Yeah.
And it's a funding issue that's not going to be addressed by selling shoes. That's the thing. It's just, to do a program at SBA, $100,000, right? And while I'd like to kind of write a business plan that would sell that many shoes, it's going to be hard to, to do that. That you're establishing.
But maybe if you are saying something special, they can do, I don't know. Because I don't have masters.
Yeah. I think the ideal thing.
The ideal thing is first of all to sell this lie about Hebrew versus English. That saves
But
a third of the money.
That gives you
to come over and
to come up
to research and to do everything.
to do everything.
Yeah.
So maybe especially, I don't know.
Maybe
You can explain better than me to them.
No, she can
Yeah.
sell better than me.
Yes.
Well, to them, but that doesn't get you a degree. So a degree
Yeah.
would be nice if you but it's not urgent.
Yeah.
I think we can do this without doing the degree. You could enroll in
We can
somewhere
do this
in-
now.
We can do this now. I'm interested in doing this now. But I'm also, where this sits in terms of your career and what you're doing is, the decisions, professional decisions you're making. I'm conscious that this is a larger set of questions.
That she should decide by herself. It's obviously it will have impact on it because it's going to change things for the next few months. It's going to be very busy.
Yeah, but I think this is worth your focus.
I agree.
Whether or not you haven't started applying, because I think for this year, all the applications were due in the last month or so. Maybe. Did you apply to any graduate school this year? You didn't. So I think they're all due in January. So you've got a lot of time to think about them.
You're going to be a superstar with shoes, man. They're going to run after you. They're going to give you grants. By the way, that
That doesn't happen. I wish
I
it
know,
did.
I know. that's just.
we don't have to deal with. I mean, like paying for graduate school is a pain in the butt, and it's not something I have figured out how to hack. I'd like to.
Yeah.
And,
I think everybody wants to hack this idea.
yeah. The only hack that I've got is to send really my best students who are doing PhDs in London. And Europe has some got great, Amsterdam, there's some great programs in Europe, much more affordable than the US, but it's not New York.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of non-residency programs as well that you might be able to do, but that's an ongoing conversation. There's no way to say that.
I understand.
The thing about this is getting this going.
Yeah.
So what do you do now?
Yeah, I think the next step is to print 1 or 2 pairs. I can probably pay for that printing. To print 2 pairs, which will be about $500 for the print services.
No, for what? For each?
For each one single shoe.
Or for a pair.
But maybe it can be some sell for me because
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do a special.
Yeah.
So if we could spend, So really, if I can find $2,000 to get 2 pairs, is what we need.
Will 2 pairs be enough? You don't need 3 or 4.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. You want 7, but.
No, for
What
the
we can
beginning,
print now, it's one. Yeah, 1 pair is sufficient to begin with.
So 1 pair of fixed design. No, fixed design.
No, I think 2 pairs. I think we do 2 pairs.
So 2 pairs of this.
No, I think 1 of each. Yeah.
1 pair.
1 pair of each design.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's 2 pairs.
And maybe we do them 4 different colors.
Sure.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, so that we can test the
Colours.
different colors.
That means you're going to be very dirty in the next few days, but that means you're going to be very dirty in the next few days.
Yeah. This has got no finish on the top. You didn't spray these. This is a dye as well.
No, this is not dye. It's like
A metallic
dye. I want it to be metallic, and you cannot spray this.
Yeah.
It cannot spray because you have this.
Maybe electrostatic. We could. I wonder what the nylon surface.
Look, there's a lot of interesting stuff that me know that I need to solve, and me a lot of stuff that I don't know to figure it out.
Exactly.
Electrostatic painting is phenomenal. We should do that.
You must be able to do it. Did he get back to you? He's got the compressor.
He's got the compressor. We're going to pick it up tomorrow morning. On the way to Syria.
So you have some research to do as well.
Yeah.
Have a look at the 3D carbon 3D printer, because we can print nylon with that. And if we could do a proposal to Carbon 3D for them to give me a machine to put in manufacture in New York, and we could print these on, that would be ideal, because I've already got all those connections. We don't have to do proposals or all the work. I'll talk to Amanda.
And the people from the bachelor and the master.
Yeah, so I've given you the list. So the thing is that you would come over, and I can start that. In fact, we can fill out that form now. Why don't we fill out that form now? Then I will have it done, because I hate doing forms. Let me send this email to you.
All right.
This program. Yeah. Anyway, the program's discussions is. You'll do research on fellowships, funding from here. These are other things to research in These are the list of programs that I recommend. There's another person at Media Lab. Not a design person, but he's quite smart. He's quite interesting. He's a good friend. He also comes out of architecture and did a 3D gaming project. I just don't think it's your kind of stuff because it's got no design there. What is your engineering or science background? You have brothers who are
No,
you have brothers in your pocket.
Look, it's not. I think I have good intuition to, and yes, I ask if I have some. I don't know something, but maybe I don't know. My brother don't help me so much, like in this situation. Actually, only for one free. Do it. Only don't
Yes.
Support.
Yeah, support.
Moral support.
Yeah, but it's a very special.
Yeah, what's his webpage? Can I have a look at his research?
I don't know if you have a website, but look around your phone.
So he does theoretical physics. I have, let's see. Yeah. Nuclear. Okay. So he has fundamental particles.
Interesting. I have to say that it's very pleasure to hear you speak. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Should hear us sing.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
It's very interesting.
Should.
Well, I'm very impressed with your work. So, so I sent you that list of just things for you to research, but there's not many links on there about funding, but I sent you the other one about funding. So that institute that I also sent that email to you is something, as soon as she leaves, we'll give them a call and see if they're still, because that would then facilitate.
We don't give a call to any institute. It's Friday afternoon.
No, but they're in New York.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
So, but they're the Israel, New York exchange, whatever.
Yeah.
And they could either support this project, support me, support you,
her, or support
something.
the travel, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're the best lead I think we have now because they're associated with the university and they're based in New York.
לכן יש תוכנית, יש איזו תוכנית של סטודנטים, של בצלאל, שהיא החלפת סטודנטים, זה לא חילופי סטודנטים, זה פרויקטים משותפים משני צדדי האוקיינוס. יש את זה להרבה מאוד בתי ספר לעיצוב בישראל, אני בטוח שלבצלאל יש את הכי טובה מכולם בהיותו בצלאל.
החלפת, אני עשיתי חילופי סטודנטים בשנה ג', אבל זה לא החלפתי עם מישהו.
לא חילופי סטודנטים הרגיל, אני מדבר שיתופי פעולה בין בתי ספר, כדי לקדם את הבוגרים כביכול למשרות יותר נחשקות או ציבוריות, שכמובן אחרי זה ישפיע לטובה על הרפיוטיישן של בצלאל, תבין, בשביל זה הפרומו, אם יוצא מזה משהו, שהיא לא שומעת עכשיו, אני באמת לא נורא מעניין, אם יוצא מזה משהו, בצלאל יחזרו אחריי.
אני רוצה להגיד לך משהו, שאני סיימתי בצלאל, כאילו באותו יום של התערוכה, באו להם טפסים, בואי תחתמי, אנחנו נעשה לך, נפתח לך את הדברים.
בוודאי, כי הם רוצים קופיה.
ולא חתמתי.
טוב עשי.
וזה בדיוק מה שהיא באה...
היא מנסה להזהיר אותך מזה בדיוק.
כן. What I told him, when I finished in the last day of my bachelor, like before the exhibition, some people from Bezalel, from my academy come to me and tell me, sign
this form.
if we are research with you the project.
They want the copyright. As simple as that.
Really?
Yeah, they really want that I do it with them and continue to work on this project. And I don't want it because I don't believe to stay in the same place that you start in something, because it's very important to open your mind in some big people.
Right.
And they're really, really interesting to that I will sign. That they looking for 5 people from all the that finished the bachelor or something like this, and I was one of them, and they wanted I will sign. And it was like, if you are signed, you don't put your shoes in the exhibition because everybody will see it. And it was like a little dramatic. And I told them I want to finish the stuff like at beginning. I don't want to. I want to present in the exhibition and not to sign. And I think, and in this situation, I feel that it was a good intuition not to sign.
Yeah. Right.
She's very.
Yes, good.
Yeah, she's one of us.
But the thing is that most, although it's not true at MIT, but most undergraduate contexts, the student owns their own intellectual property, and
But
anyway.
this is why they wanted her to sign.
Yeah.
But
So,
they don't.
It came. She mentioned that because I was asking whether Bezalel, being such an important school that worries about their reputation, if they will want to maybe support it one way or another externally for future gain. Because if she becomes tomorrow, if Obama wears her shoes, if Michelle Obama wears her shoes tomorrow morning, okay, and it was done by an Israeli designer from Bezalel, because that's her credibility for now, that's for Bezalel worth 50 new students.
You don't want that Bezalel will be part of this.
You see?
And
then she said that and explained exactly what. I'm
Right.
trying to share the conversation, the Hebrew conversation with her as well.
yeah.
We all think in the same way, We don't want them to be on our back.
If you, this is the reason that I don't sign.
And don't worry. The second you're going to be a star, they will say that you studied in Bezalel anyway. No,
I don't
but don't feel like you owe them something. That's what I'm trying to say.
I really like teacher there. I don't do it all the things by myself because I did it bachelor. They don't do nothing. I really appreciate them.
It's their job. I'm sorry. It's their job.
Yeah.
Well, they're good at their job.
I didn't say that they're not, but it's still their job.
No, it's great. So I think you had the right intuitions too. But but our next thing, I've got the form up here.
Mm-hmm.
So all you need to do is I can submit this to a visiting scholar.
All right.
And I can submit this to.
You want to say you'll do it now?
Yeah, and then it'll take 6 weeks for us to get them to.
Read. אני מאוד התרשמתי בנעליים.
תודה.
אני לא אומר את זה סתם.
תשמע, אני הגעתי פה הכל במקרה, אבל אני כאילו אפילו נראה לי לא מעכלת.
קודם כל, היום בלילה את תעכלי. דבר שני, את מבינה שזה לא בצחוק. אני אסביר לך את זה בטלפון. האימפולסיביות שלה והקשרים שלה, זה יוצא. היא באה לפה, בנסיעה הזאת, וכל מה שעניין אותה, לצד עוד זה ניסוי שהולכת לעשות מחר, זה, והקלטה אישה גם, היינו באולפן לפעמים, היא נורא מחשבת. אבל אחד הדברים שעניינו אותה זה איך למצוא דרך לעשות מכזה דבר משהו יותר מעניין, כי יש בזה, ברור שיש בזה. אז תחושת הבטן שלה אמרה, לא סתם שכחה את זה, כמו שאמרה לה, איך לבן יודעים מי, כאילו, בקטע טוב.
מי זה בבית הלבן?
היא מכירה אנשים שלוחשים על אוזנו של אובמה לכל מיני דברים. פה אחד הפרויקטים היה עידוד של דברים אמריקאים. כמו לעשות לעצמך, לעשות דברים. היה לו איזה סטייטמנט מאוד חשוב. וחברתה טובה, לחשה על אוזנו, אני מבינה, אז כאילו, אנשים האלה יודעים שאת קיימת, כשאנשים כאלה יודעים שאת קיימת, יותר קל לך בחיים, אתה יודע. לא יודע אם אובמה יודע קיומך, אבל אתה יודע, אבל בבית הלבן זה. יש אבל גם מעט לך פה תפסים להיכנס לכל מיני מקומות שהיה לך שנה רק להחליט בכלל איך את הטופס, אז כאילו... אז תהיי בהלם בשקט, בבית עוד 5 דקות, זה הכל. אני פשוט רגיל לזה, בגלל זה אני לא נסער כמוך.
Just pull that out. So I put it from April of this year. In case I think we could get them to go quick and move to the bathroom and stand up.
Do you need any help? You sure?
It's sitting too long.
There's a certain person that wanted us to come to the pool if you're up to stand up later on. I think he's there.
Okay.
כמו שאת רואה, גם מה שמניע אותה זה לא איזה אינטרס כלכלי או משהו כזה. מה שמעניין אותה זה תאווה אמיתית לאומנות ולסביבה, באמת, זה מה שמזיז אותה. כל דבר אצלה חייב להיות קשור לעבודה שלה, לעבודה שלה כאומן וכמדען. וכשמשהו כזה מדליק אותה, היא הולכת איתו עד הסוף, היא ילך, לא ילך, היא תתאבד, היא תפסיד כסף על דברים, היא עושה להרצות לך בכל מיני פגיעות, שסכומים שלא מכסים אפילו את המיסי נמל, כאילו.
וואו.
כי זה חלק מהעניין, אנשים כאלה יש להם דרייב, אתה יודע, בסדר, מסתכל את הפעמון, הכל בסדר. אבל, אתה יודע.
Okay, visiting scholar, if dates of זה אני לא יכולה למלא, ממתי עד מתי, זה הייתי מלא.
שאלי אותה, מה שאת לא יודעת.
אדרס איפה שאני אהיה, וואלה.
אני לא יודע, תשאלי אותה נכונה לישראל, אני מכירה את הפסים האלה טובים, אני לא אקדמאי להבדיל, אני אוכר האקדמיה הכי גדול. לי יש הרבה מאוד טענות כלפי האקדמיה. הטענות שלי כלפי האקדמיה זה התג של האקדמיה במרבית המקצועות שאינם טכניים, כפס ייצור.
קיבול, מקבים, זה מאוד נכון.
ואני מאוד קשה לי עם זה שבן אדם אחר אומר לי איך לחשוב, אני מאוד קל לי שבן אחר אומר לי תחשוב, לא שבן אדם אחר אומר לי תחשוב ככה. המילה ככה לא עושה לי ככה. וזו הסיבה שכל כך קפצתי לאקדמיה שבצלם ושמת שהיא קפצה בדיוק כמו אותו דבר. התחושת בטן שלך, זה מה שמוביל אנשים כמונו, מאנשים כמוהם. עכשיו, אנחנו מרגישים רגע, זה קצת יותר מדי, זו לא הכוונה, אני רוצה להתפתח, אני רוצה לעשות.
לא, הם היו אומרים לי מה לעשות, וזה לא...
זה בדיוק מה שאמרתי, תעשה ככה. תעשה ככה, לא מגניב שאתה עושה כאלה דברים. כי רק היא הרי לא מסתכלת רק על הנעל ועלייך בתור בן אדם, בחורה נחמדה, אבל עליי נהדרות כבר. מסתכלת על הפוטנציאל שלך כאדם, מבינה? זה הפוטנציאל שלך כאדם, זה לא הנעליים, זה הרבה יותר מהנעליים, זה רק היריית פתיחה. וזה גם יריית פתיחה, הקטע פה של טיימינג הוא קרדינלי. לא צוחק איתך. מה שלא יקרה לך הרגע.
זה נכון.
ואת גם מבינה שאף אחד לא מספיק לגנוב אותך או משהו כזה, או לך עלייך סיבוב, או שכל זה בכלל לא, ממש לא הכיוון. לא אופי של בן אדם. אני יודע שאת צריכה זמן להקל, אני רק מנסה להקל עלייך. שמעתי את הכל, זה הולך כבר בשיחה הראשונה שלנו, נופל לך גם בשיחה, אני לא יודע איך לך.
לא, אני לא ידעתי אפילו בכלל בהתחלה מה מי, כאילו...
מה מי שלחתי לך, זה היה זר, יש לך יפה מאוד בוויקיפדיה, זה הרבה דברים.
Payment address. אז מה זה payment? זה...
לא יודע, they're asking about addresses, should you feel the addresses in Tel Aviv or should you...
my address?
Yeah.
Can you sit with her for 2 seconds?
Yeah, I think
some of the English is a bit confusing.
Here, I don't know.
Your permanent address would be like your parents or some place you always get mail at.
All right.
And then, which is not your New York address. Or,
yeah.
And here, I don't know, also.
Yeah, no, I put that in. So it's a 1-year appointment that I can do to begin with, and then it's renewable for 3 years. So I did it from April 15th, because ideally you could come over
On April
next few
5th.
So
I think on the because I have because I have a wedding for a friend in the 15th. Actually.
Make it the 17th.
yeah, we can make it anytime.
They're nice, the cups, huh?
Yeah, metal teapots lose heat.
I'm sorry, nobody invented something better than that.
Ceramic.
Ceramic. Okay, I had ceramics. First of all, they won't survive my use, as you know.
Why not?
The only ones that are impressively heat containers are the sand ones from China. You know, they're compressing sand.
So it's glass.
It's not glass. It's sand-ish. It's like it's not mud, I'm joking, but it's sand-ish. It's something. It's like clay with sand together. I don't know exactly. There's a process they do it. It's an ancient way of doing, but those are better than the glass ones. The glass ones survive for 5 minutes. You enjoy a cup of tea and you throw them out. You throw the.
What?
What about here?
Okay.
I had a glass one. I broke it in the dishwasher. You can imagine.
So just put in a couple of things. We have to put in your.
You know, actually, these mock-up are now in exhibition in Tel Aviv, and I told the manager that I needed a couple hours.
Oh, they are? You have to take them back?
No, I will do it in Sunday, but I told them.
איפה זה מציב?
בית האמנים.
ברור לך שכל מה שקורה פה עכשיו עדיף שישאר פה.
כן.
זה האחרון שאת רוצה, זה לא ישאר.
כן ולא, אני לא... אני הפוך. אם אני מדברת על משהו, אני מדברת דברים בחוץ ואני רוצה שזה...
לא, אני אומר כאילו שלא יסתובב, כאילו זה עוד לא סגור, זה כבר לפני נוסף. לא.
לא.
אני צפוגע שאחת בקומה שלה ממלאת לך עכשיו טפסים, כמזכירתך הנאמנה ואת הספונטר שלך, זה...
This is my name. No.
No. Have I misspelled it? Yes. It's with a U, right?
No, it's just in the middle. Neta.
Oh, what? I'm conflating the two.
Yeah, I just. What is this word? I think you mean right.
That's me.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I totally conflated your
That's okay. We combine.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any fellowships we can put in here? Any awards or anything?
Fellowship like website?
No.
Just
No.
you know what? I'll put in.
I prized.
These two exhibitions.
There's more. It's like 4 exhibition or 5.
Yeah.
You want?
Yeah. So put in a list of those exhibitions. We have to put in your.
I also get a prize on this from Bezalel.
Okay. So put in.
Just how do you write it? I don't know it. Lokman.
I'd like to ask you, is that the sole design of this bag, or there's other design?
There's 3 sizes in several colors, and it said I told you trying to do the distributed version.
I'm trying to do also a briefcase version, a funky briefcase. I would have gone with something like that.
Briefcase?
Not as a case, but you saw my bag. My bag is flexible. It's like Porsche. It's flexible. It's not a stiff, thing, but it has some, some compartments for the computer and stuff like that.
But I'm not trying to do a bag. I'm trying to do a garbage bag, right? I'm trying to do it.
Yeah. But this is one hell of a movie.
And what? There's not enough briefcases in the world?
Believe me, as somebody that's willing to spend shitloads of money and spent shitloads of money, you always look for the next good idea because it's never good enough. Just a thought. Messenger bags are superb ideas. But I wouldn't go with a messenger bag. A young lawyer will go with a briefcase in this color.
But they'll want a briefcase for a briefcase.
No, they want a bag that they just need a place to put their folders, their computers, and their cell phone.
And they won't put it in the same bag that they put their garbage in.
No.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to design.
I know. I just thought maybe there's a cross. I know what you're saying. Maybe yoga bag. For the yoga bag, for the yoga mat.
I don't.
I know there was a time they were very sexy as bags.
Never.
No. There's a company called Ording and Later.
Sure, but I don't want to do a yoga bag.
I know.
I don't want to engage in. I don't want to make. I'm not trying to address the other people. I'm not trying to. It's not. There's no specific thing that I'm trying to say.
except W's.
I mean, I have a yoga mat that is a degradable yoga mat. That's it's yet to be developed. So, like, I don't want to it's already a complicated story.
Yeah.
Do I want to
Complicate it further.
and make it look like something else that people are familiar with, and so they mistake it for something else, so that they.
No, got you completely. I was just wondering about that. That's it. I still want a bag that can fit my computer. My computer won't fit in. If I would have taken yours,
You can.
you can. So give me one of these. Get me one of these.
You can use the website to purchase it through Feral Trade.
Okay, and will you be to my carrier?
Yes.
Okay, good. Send me a link. I'm joking.
Build it.
I'm joking. I would use a bag like that. I just had enough of my bag. I was looking at your bag. I was looking at my bag yesterday in the studio. I said to myself, okay, this is time. It's time to change. Yeah.
I think this is enough.
Okay, great. Perfect. So I'm going to say here, I'll take responsibility for this. I'll say
BFA.
yeah, what is it?
BFA.
And that's, can we put it in?
Yeah.
Can we put it in Hebrew?
All right.
Yeah, what's the Hebrew name of it?
תואר ראשון, Bachelor Fine Art.
That's going to be the tricky part to bluff them.
Okay.
There's
And
always a Jew. There's lots of Jews in those committees. Maybe it's better to keep this thing black.
No.
Or to say it only in English.
Okay.
Because the problem is that
is it a BFA honors? Is it an honors degree? Is there an extra?
I get a prize.
Yeah.
It's
Because that's
קיבלתי פרס הצטיינות.
She got an excellence prize from Bezalel.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Bezalel Academy or maybe.
One of the problems with Hebrew is that when you call it bachelor's degree, it's Toar Rishon, which is basically first degree. So automatically there is a second degree, and that's what you're looking for.
All right.
So if you put the Hebrew term for that, you have a problem, slight problem.
We can.
גמרת סיימת בהצטיינות?
קיבלתי פרס הצטיינות
על העבודה.
כן.
יש לך את השם המדויק של הפרייס?
רשמתי.
אוקיי. ככה נוכל, בטח יש להם איזה אתר או משהו כזה, ושם זה מופיע משהו כזה. ומישהו שילם את החשבון לפרס הזה. למישהו הזה יש אתר. למישהו הזה יש כל השמיים שלך, יש לך לינק שמישהו הולך. ככה זה. האנשים האלה לא יותר מתוחכמים מאנשים אחרים. מקבלים משהו שנראה להם מרשים, הכל נראה משהו. והם עושים גוגל, פשוט מאוד. וזהו, וברגע שאת שולטת יש באינטרנט דבר שנקרא אפקט של גלים.
Okay, I think that's it. I think I've said it. I've just called it an MA equivalent to degree, which is, and then if anything, I'll take responsibility saying I misunderstood. Because
it was outside the line.
Because I don't say it right. Tell me that my English is not so good.
Yes. And it was, she got an excellence prize, and to me, like, because in Australia and in New York, in the US, at Yale, where I was, actually there's an extra year you can do with the bachelor's degree. It gives you a master's.
You could say also that I learned 4 years, or a lot of bachelors on 3 years.
Yeah, in the States, so it's 5 years.
Yeah.
In the UK, they're 3 years.
I learned in Australia.
You did?
Yeah, like 3 months.
Mm.
Then New Zealand, Thailand, and India. Right.
Stefano,
It's in Sheba.
I was asking her for aid because she was well or something. So yeah, she's not there.
So you took some time off?
Before I start to
So you
study,
you did army?
yeah, 2 years, and then
and then time off, and then
and 1 year, yeah, I traveled in Australia, New Zealand, and India.
Oh,
Good time, good,
yes.
great country.
Yeah. So you went. Were you youth hostels? How did you?
And I in Sydney, in Sydney North.
And where did you stay?
I just traveled with car.
And you stayed in the car?
No,
You stayed in a hostel?
Yeah, something like this. And with some friends, across the desert.
You did? Through the where? To Alice Springs?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Oh, lovely.
Yeah, very special.
Yeah.
And
People from Israel understand the desert as beautiful.
They have this,
Many people don't understand the desert as beautiful and wonderful.
for sure.
I love it. The one of my dreams is to go to Taklamakan, this desert in the entrance to China, the ice desert.
Wow.
You know, it's called the one-way desert because you
One
go in.
Yeah.
That's it.
I want to go to Morocco.
I was told that Morocco is a tourist trap now.
I have my niece is living in Morocco,
I would love to go.
and
Where in Morocco? Okay.
yeah, right in Arabic, and she's also started a fashion label working with Moroccan refugee embroiderers. It's incredible embroidery, and as a, she's working with yoga. Which is a special market.
Yeah. I came across that market when I released an album by Julia Orvinsky. She's a harp. And we released the album. And one day I'm getting a call. Hello, an email. Hello, we would like to order 120 copies of the album on CD. They didn't even ask for a special price. I said, for what do you need 120 copies? I said, no, I run this yoga center. And we played your CD, and we really love it. So everybody wants a copy, so we want 120 copies. This is how this market operates. You know, suddenly you see a spike in sales from La Jolla because a friend of mine who's a yoga teacher has an album by a Chinese artist I produced, and she played it in a class. They bought 30 copies at a local store. That store had 1 copy. They ordered another 30 because they thought suddenly there's a hit or something. You know. This is the yoga audience. They're not exactly the most logical people on earth. They're very impulsive as buyers. And I think those companies that deal with all new age and stuff really use them. Still, some of them are charming people.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have this pretty much done. We've got lots of research to do. And how long do you think to print 1 pair or 2 pairs? A week or 2?
It's the same time, 2 weeks.
2
Because
weeks.
it's the now then a week for sure. It takes from them 1 week or 10 days until the time you point, and then a couple of days I need to paint on them, and to color them, and then after 2 weeks I can send to you. So I think it will come to New York. I do the best that I can. But,
there's a certain chance she's going to be your parent trader as well.
Yeah.
She's going to be the courier.
Actually,
On the 17th.
no, but we are now 18 months.
2 weeks is the beginning of May.
me say in the 1st of April, I can say it's 12th.
Great.
I thought on Sunday.
Okay. Good. Okay. So I'll look it up. Did you? I don't have any. I'll take a couple of shots with your camera. Let me see.
Rolling?
I'm gonna actually.
You want to do this?
I think we should get a shot with Neta and me together.
Yeah.
Actually, one each.
Oh, which one you want?
This bigger one.
So
If it's not was in the exhibition today, I will send you this.
Yeah, the white background.
and behind you is a very nice artwork. So
All right, so I will do it like this.
another very important designer.
Yeah.
Ayala Khan. You look like you're flying for
Take a few. Shoot ratio. The other things he's going to run shoot ratio.
Great, I like you too. By the way, I don't have a one-to-one shoot ratio. I don't even have one-to-one recording ratio. There was one thing. So it's really cute. Where is it? It's cute.
I just bring you to
What's
see.
that? Oh,
I told you that the dark side of the moon. It's my first,
yeah.
so it was.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
This was your first shoot?
Yeah, it's in mocha.
Have you done a version of this?
Yeah.
Oh, Neta, gorgeous. You're a great designer.
Wow.
Wow. That is.
This was the first time that they print 3D print. It should 3D print. It was the first time.
Oh, it's so lovely. You do the negative space.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And this is your size? This is my size?
It's 40. It's silver, actually. But you can wear.
It needs to be shot against white.
Yeah.
Wow.
So comfortable. It's extraordinary. And and doing this out of an elastomer or out of a
It's
doing it out of an elastomer or out of a
Will you
lighter
stand in
material?
front of that?
it's actually folklore. It's like kind of plastic. Maybe we put some white
Yeah,
paper.
it's white.
Or black.
Black.
You can stand here and in front.
I don't know.
Maybe in front of.
Yeah, no, yeah. These boots are made for. This was the most transparent one you could get.
Just look on the
אני שואלת אם החומר הזה הוא החומר השקוף ביותר שנמצא.
No, this one is.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I actually this one my teacher is. It was the first time that someone print shoe in Venezuela.
Really?
Yeah, it was in my third year. and my teacher. That's the name how play of this.
They're proud of it?
They pay that I do, yeah.
They pay? Oh.
Yeah, they never do it.
They never. So who's this great teacher of yours that convinced you to?
I will send you.
Yeah, when you said an introduction?
Yeah, actually, I can be sure. So I will send you a Facebook.
Yeah, great.
And then send it to you.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Yes. Really, really lovely. So Dark Side of the Moon had that in it? Had a similar shoe in it?
this is the dark side of the moon shoe.
But I don't know the visual reference in Dark Side of the Moon.
I don't know the
Okay.
reason.
Prism. Yeah.
Prism.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Moon is an album by Pink Floyd. In
Yeah.
Israel, it's like the Bible, basically.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Musically, it is the Bible. The Sgt. Pepper in England,
Yeah.
Pink Floyd,
I
Dark
will
Side of the
show
Moon in Israel.
you. You must.
Triangle,
Yeah.
breaking colors from one side, the stripe.
Right. So
It's the experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illustration.
Yeah.
But yesterday, yes.
For many Israelis, that's one of the most important things in the world. This band,
Actually,
this band is insanely big in Israel.
you just write dark side of the moon and you will understand why it's look like this.
But yeah.
It's the Prism experiment, the very famous
Yeah,
drawing.
but I don't associate it with that. Yeah? I just don't associate that prism with Dark Side of the Moon. Anyway, okay.
That's because you didn't grow up on that album.
Well, no, but it's such a ubiquitous, it's like, it was on the front of every physics
Of course.
textbook. It was on.
Yeah, but what made it really worldwide famous was that album that sold 20 million copies.
Well, life is a fundamental structure of life. Right?
I know.
Like,
But you
so-
know that
these kind of
You know that
physical principles
creativity-
long-
you know that in advertising there's a saying that I actually wrote, that creativity is the poetry of opportunity, not of anything else. That's the problem with marketing and advertising, that creativity is knowing to recognize an opportunity. Unfortunately.
So,
But this rule applies also to other things in life, as you can imagine. You saw it yesterday.
I'm walking down Neta, and if you want to,
גם אותם.
כן? יפה.
זה אבל לא קשור לבית.
אני מאוד אוהב עיצובים של משקפי שמש, אני חושב שזה אחד המקומות הכי מרתקים, שעדיין לא התפתחו אפילו עשירית מהיכולת שלהם להתפתח.
כן.
כי היו חברות לפני 100 שנה באנגליה שעשו עבודה מרתקת, עם כיפופי פלסטיק והכל, אחרי זה הגיעו היפנים עם השילובי מתכות שלהם שהיו מרתקים, והדבר היותר מטורף מהכל, זה מה שקורה כרגע עם זה שאנשים מוכנים באופן אקסיומטי לשלם הרבה מאוד כסף עבור מוצר כמשקפי שמש שהוא יוצר מתחי רווחים מטורפים. ואז הגיעו כל הרוסים למיניהם שפשוט דרשו שגם המוצר יעשו עם כל מיני זהב עם יהלומים. I think you can
for swim.
All right.
So I play Super.
Oh, Wonder Woman, of course.
Wow.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my favorite, actually.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman is actually better for the pool.
This
Do you
one.
have a
I
hat
have
or
to
something?
agree with him. Wonder is the winner.
Yeah. Wonder Woman with this hat.
Yes.
Okay. So, I find my shades. Have you seen my shades by any chance? Have you seen my shades? My sunglasses?
You want that on Sunday I will call you to to print.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So, and I can